Good evening, everybody. I'll tell you what, it would seem wrong if we didn't start with our normal music, wouldn't it? So let's start.
Get ready for the world's greatest Arsenal podcast. Welcome to another podcast by Guns and Yellow Ribbons. Enjoy the show.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Guns and Yellow Ribbons. My name is Fergus. I'm joined in a hotel in Leeds with Dan Potts from Leeds TV and many other places. But he started with us and he will always be with us. We're in Leeds, we've had a few beers, but we want to talk about the game today because we're really impressed with the game today. Dan, how you doing, mate? 9:20 you came to my house?
Yeah, it was about that, mate. And do you know what? It's been a very pleasant away day, mate. And it's all thanks to you, to be honest. It's been really nice, mate, and we've had a good laugh. And we've seen some people that we know, obviously, and some people that we don't know. And it's been a great laugh. And I think sometimes we need to appreciate how fantastic away days are. Because, you know, we've had some great trips, me and you. And we've had some fantastic people that we've met.
Can I ask a question?
Go on.
Is Arnie correct? Am I clearly drunk?
What's going on? Fergus, clearly you are drunk. I would say I was probably more drunk than you.
Yeah, I think well, I've been waiting on you most of the time, haven't I?
But you know what? I'll take that. Arnie, top lad. No, we both had a few beers. Let's be honest. It's pretty evident that we've had a few beers. But today's been a great day, Ferg, and I'm not going to go into too much more than that. But to say that it's been a great day, and I've enjoyed it.
Well, the journey up, it took us 4 hours to get up here. We arrived. We're here in the Ibis in the budget hotel in Leeds. We done 6 loops of the Leeds loop, and it was unreal. Scotty Mike rang us at the absolute moment that we needed to listen to the sat nav, and he just destroyed my day. But we got here. We
rang us to say, "Are you lost?" Yes, we are, Scunny. No help at all. Cheers, then. Bye bye.
We got here, really warm welcome. We couldn't check in when we got here. We got here about 1. It's a pub across the road, which is really nice. Really warm welcome. We were welcomed well by them. And in the main, I would say the Leeds, it's a great Yorkshire welcome, wouldn't you say?
Well, I must admit, when we got here, everybody was helpful. And I'm talking about check-in to the bar, to everything else. But, and I will say, Mike Feinberg, that yes, we could do with some warm soup. But that's not going to happen, mate.
We got some cold soup.
We've got some very, very cold soup. The way I see it is this, Fergus. I honestly believe there is just an aura when you come up north. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you get that?
There's a different friendliness between people up north than there is down south.
Yeah.
And as an Irishman, I understand that and I can see it. It doesn't feel unusual to me because we're like that in Ireland anyway. So London was really steel and cold to me. But I'll tell you what, where was steel and cold is we went to it was called the Dry Salters, which was the nominated away pub.
I did this to you, mate. This was quite awkward, people.
Honestly, it was awful. I'm normally quite good at getting a pint. I don't normally have to wait, but I played the game and I watched people come and go, and I knew where I was in my slot to get the pint. And the barmaid, well, it was actually the owner or whatever, just picked somebody else who came along and flattered their eyelashes, and I kicked off. I basically kicked off.
I must say, just before you go there, Ferg, I must say, I was behind listening to Emil Smith
25
and
minutes.
Saka rants and chants, and I was enjoying life. And then Fergus is picking fights with the barmaids. I must admit, it was a long wait. Over to you, mate.
I got evils, didn't I?
You did?
I did get evils. Listen, but we left there. We had 2 pints. I don't know if anybody's seen on our Facebook or anything else. We bought 2 pints rather than 1 pint to give a 2-pint pot, and that was actually perfect. We left there and we got to the ground about 4:15. we were checked for COVID. You had to show your QR code. We got these little passes to say that we were
Where's yours gone?
vaccine free. Yeah, you got your one. You're just drunk.
So
You're just
pissed.
drunk.
I can't remember. I've got one as well.
And we got into the ground. We bumped into many good away fans, including Trev and Terry and many others. And it was really, really good. The lineups came up. And what did you make of those lineups then? We had Shaq and Partey in the midfield. Look, the back four and back five, including Ramsdale, picked themselves, in my view. But were you happy with Partey and Xhaka pre-game?
Well, Partey and Xhaka were quite clear to me. It was all about Ødegaard or Smith-Rowe. And I think when you look at Ødegaard or Smith-Rowe, you need to look at who you want to end the game and start the game. And it seems to me that you want to start the game with Ødegaard because he does a lot of the dictation of play, and Smith-Rowe drives forward. Now, I prefer my number 10, if we're going to play number 10, which I still don't like, to drive the ball forward. So I would always go with Smith-Rowe. But it seemed to me that when Ødegaard is going forward, there's a lot of good things that are happening, Fergus. And I can't lie, I've not been a huge fan of Martin Ødegaard in terms of his output. But actually, when you look at what he's doing at the moment, I can't really deny that he is doing a lot of good. What do you think? I know you're not you're like with me on this, aren't you?
I'm decided on Ødegaard. You sound wankered, by the way. You sound absolutely pissed out your fucking nut.
I'm not pissed out my nut, but I'm pissed.
We've done malt whiskies, we've done Moretti's, we've done Peronis. We've had a good day. But
I thought I was doing a pretty good job.
No,
okay, fair enough.
You're sinking
Fuck
quick.
it.
You're sinking quick. Ødegaard I thought was okay, but I think he drifts in and out of the game, and I don't know if that's Ødegaard being poor and growing into his play, or the team that are around him. Is Ødegaard better than the squad around him? Dan?
No, let's get it right. Ødegaard's a very good footballer. The way I see it is this. I think Emil Smith-Rowe, Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli are the three most exciting players right now. So they get in the team. Now Martin Ødegaard, I think, is a very good footballer. I've never really said that he's a terrible footballer and like, oh my god, this guy never needs to be in the side. But personally, I think he just drops out right now. I think Lacazette needs to be that link-up play guy. I don't think we've got anybody that can replace him if Aubameyang is out the team. And I feel like Martinelli taking that chance is just not going to give us that hold-up play and that link-up play. So I really like this guy. I think, honestly, I think Martinelli is going to be an absolute star.
But we talked about earlier about Ødegaard.
Yeah.
The fact that Pepe is older than Ødegaard. Ødegaard's only 22, 23. So we actually have got a steal with this.
Yeah.
At 34 million.
Yeah.
It sounds ridiculous money.
And I think people get misunderstood. I do not rate Martin Ødegaard. I think he's a very good footballer. Personally, I feel like Emil Smith-Rowe drives us forward more. And people might disagree and say, no, Ødegaard is definitely in the side above Smith-Rowe. Smith-Rowe needs to come on and earn his place.
And pre-game, when we said about team selection, we said same starting 11, but switch Ødegaard with Smith-Rowe.
And it's a good thing, Fergus. It's a good thing. This is what we should be having in every position. This is what makes me like about Arsenal fans. They're like, well, Smith-Rowe, how's he going to get in the team? Is he going to have to leave? No, he's not going to have to leave, because this is what we need in every position. Manchester City have this with Mahrez and Sterling and Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden, and they don't seem to be bothered because they're going for the best. And this is what we need to build, is demanding the best. So when we get, let's be honest, Lacazette or Ødegaard or Smith-Rowe, this is normal for the Arsenal Football Club. You know? You agree with that?
Yeah. I'm agreeing. It includes beer. I'm agreeing with it.
If you agree.
Listen, you touched on Martinelli. Martinelli was outstanding today.
Yeah, he was.
Martinelli against West Ham scored a goal that made me tingle. It made me feel like we got the hand of frog back. It made me feel we had Thierry Henry back in our side.
Come on, can I just stop you there? Can I just stop you there? The hand of frog. Come on, listen. You love
Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry.
You must love Thierry Henry, but you cannot call him the hand of frog because
he cheated against Ireland.
Mate, let it go, Fergus. This guy is one of the best players ever to wear the shirt for Arsenal, and you're going to have him on that. Can you not let that go?
I do have a point, though. I really do have a point. As an Ireland fan, I have got a point. As an Arsenal fan, I should shut up and.
Let me ask you this: What's your opinion of Thierry Henry? He's a great Arsenal player, but he'll always have that against you.
He's a god. Carl's asked the question: have we had a drink? No, we're sober.
Have you boys had a drink?
No. We're absolutely
it's been
sober.
Orange juice and water the whole night. Fucking hell.
Oh.
It's Beretti, by the way.
Boys, listen, everyone jump in the chat. If anybody wants, should we get people to join us?
Absolutely, we should.
Listen, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do this. This is going in the chat.
Get people to join us now.
If you want to join on, make sure you got good audio and make sure you got good light. I'm going to put a link that you can join in, and we'll take 2 or 3 people to join in and tell us what you thought of the game, because we're obviously shit-faced and we haven't got a clue. So here you go.
Mike Feinberg, get involved, Mike Feinberg.
I'm expecting Mike to jump in.
Please,
Mike, you got to jump in. I jumped in on Mike's son over there. But right, okay. So Martinelli, outstanding. Saka, what do we make of Saka's performance?
Well, I honestly think, Fergus, this guy is now got over his hangover from the Euros. Yep. I'm not being funny. I know that people talk about Declan Rice being the only player that has performed after the Euros, and I agree with you. I honestly believe that Declan Rice is the only player that has pushed on from his performance from the Euros. But I think Saka is now coming into his own. And I thought against Southampton he was outstanding. I don't think a lot of people give me credit about that because obviously he didn't get on the score sheet. But when I look at what he did that game and against West Ham and tonight, he is our most threatening player going forward. I'm sorry, he is. He is our most threatening player going forward. So when I look at what he can do at 20 years old, I think, what could you be like at 25? What could Ben White be like at 27? What could Gabriel be like at 27? I'm starting to believe in this young crop of players. Now, my question mark is the manager. And it always has been.
You know what's hilarious today?
Go on.
I saw Dan doing his Arsenal Fans TV a bit with Robbie. Can I first of all point out, now I had a row with somebody behind me.
This is important.
Who was singing Robbie Lyle's a paedophile and all this sort of stuff. And I turned around to him and said, so you know Robbie then, do you? And he goes, yeah. I said, so what, is he a paedophile? He went, yeah. I said, how about you fucking get your facts right? How would you like if somebody come along and said you're a paedophile? If you don't like Arsenal Fans TV, don't fucking watch it. But do not start calling a man a paedophile when he's not a paedophile. But that aside, and it did get a little bit heated.
No, you're right, mate.
But that aside, Dan done his bit for Arsenal Fans TV, and he was like, I'm so pro this, but you still had to drop in, don't like the manager.
No, and I know you disagreed in parts of it, but I feel like we are a long way off believing in the process. I believe we are. And people may say, wow, look, we've beaten West Ham and Leeds. What more do you want to know that this guy is the best? I still need to see more, personally. And I feel like West Ham was a huge turning point for me to start to believe. And I think I want to get this right, Ferg, and I do with you and I do with other people. If anybody out there believes that I want Arsenal to lose so that I can be proved correct and that I can be the man that everybody wants to...
On that, we both agree. And like, I had 4 hours in the car with the fella on the way up. Arteta.
No, but you get me, though. You get me,
Fergus. Well, we understand it, yeah. Listen, what we want is, we put the link in the chat. If people want to join us, join. But we have got Magic Mike from the Guna podcast.
Get him on. I love Magic Mike.
Hello, mate. Mike, how you doing?
We're doing all right, mate.
We're a little bit pissed.
Yeah, I could tell that. I've never seen either one of you like this before.
Really? Could you tell? I think it's him, isn't it? No, not me.
It's this guy.
I'm okay.
Hold on. I got to fix my computer. It's not working. Hold on, I'll drop it.
Look, what's he like? Listen,
leave it.
Listen, Mike's going to jump back on in a minute. But if anybody else wants to jump in, I am putting the link again in the chat. If you want to join in, just join in on your phone. Just make sure you've got earphones in and you got good lighting so we can see you and you're a bit stable.
Do you know what? While we're waiting for Mike, I've got to ask you this, Fergus, because you're always the host and hostess with the mostest. I want to ask this: your favourite Arsenal game live and why? What's your favourite Arsenal game? Like that you've witnessed, that you were there present, and do you know what?
No.
And why?
Easy.
Go on.
Chelsea FA Cup final.
Oh, that's a great shout.
Only because we went there. I was totally expecting to get battered, as Mike would say. Battered.
That's a great shout.
Yeah.
I was there as well.
And we were together, and we were battered.
It was a battering in total.
Mike, we're talking about Chelsea getting battered. So Mike, now we got you on. Let's have some common sense. I try to talk on your one, but I was on my iPhone and...
Hang on a minute. You just said, Mike, now we got you on, let's talk about common sense. That's not going to happen.
Actually, let's just take him off. Somebody else, please, come on. But, Mike, we got you on here now, and I'll try to jump on your gooner up with Mike at the end. And I think it's been such a good day. What did you make of the game from the outside? And we'll tell you about how it was on the inside.
Well, I mean, it seemed like it was absolutely brilliant from the inside. I mean, it's phenomenal to there. I wanted to go to Leeds Away. I was gutted when the League Cup turned out to be a home match, even though it was a good home match to go to. I've heard great things about Leeds, but watch this one at the pub. With some very good friends, my original Arsenal friend that I met 8-9 years ago here in Washington D.C. My wife was there. Got to watch her. Just one fun day all together, man. I mean, we can only play the teams that are in front of us, and Leeds and Southampton are about the worst that the Premier League has to offer right now. Hopefully, Norwich is the same. Something wrong with my
No, nothing.
No, all good.
It was a little bit noisy here, so we turned our audio off for a second. From our point of view, we had a really warm welcome, and it was great to be in Ellen Road, an old school stadium. And I know when I talked to you on your podcast that you were sad that Leeds in the Cup was at the Emirates because you want to come to Ellen Road. And mate, it's brilliant.
I love the old stadium.
It's brilliant, but I missed half the goal. Like the first goal, I was turning around to him and going, "It's never a penalty," and he jumps up and goes, "Hey!" like this, and I'm going, "What? We scored! Martinelli scored!"
Do you know what? All I missed was a huge 15 stone, and I'm being kind there, Mike Feinberg crashing on me to go, "Whoa! We've scored!" Dan Potts was scored.
I would kill to be 15 stone. Are you met with Fergus today because you miss your dad?
What's that?
Yeah.
This team This team's not around tonight.
Nah, my dad wife is unfortunately
No, but you know what's
on
really
grandparent duty.
what was really interesting, Mike, is we checked into the hotel, and I gave my surname. Dan paid for my room, and they assumed we were together. It's 2021.
I was going to say,
I'll be awesome.
I know both of you.
Come join us. We're on a podcast.
Come sit here.
Listen,
Here we go.
Hey,
look.
we've got some Arsenal fans.
Come
here.
on, the
All right.
Arsenal.
Up the Arsenal.
There's a couple more of us to
There
come
he
as
is.
well.
Yeah, join in afterwards. Yeah. Listen,
There's
we
a bunch of men that are going to be sleeping together in about 20 minutes.
we're
Get Massa.
We're going to bring Massaman in. Massaman, I've not met you
Mesam,
before.
Mesam,
How you doing?
Mesam, we know you. Mesam, I've met you before. Mesam, I've met you before, haven't I?
Yes, on Harry's
On Harry's stream. I know that.
Was it on the back of 7 games winless run that Arteta was having, and I was passionately defending him at the time?
Nick, come over.
And do you know what, Mesam? You are a Arteta in, is that right?
Yeah, I was really strongly
Live on the podcast.
Arteta in. I'm gonna tell Dan, I'm a little bit confused
Go
at the
on.
moment, because on the back of what I saw at Old Trafford and Goodison Park, I have to say, I really gone into mode of Arteta out, because I just see anything working in that team.
Yeah, okay.
And now with this kind of 3 wins back to back, I'm again confused. What to make of this team, because there are some signs.
Massam, you know this is the first time this season we've won 3 games back to back.
It's amazing.
The only disappointing thing about today is we conceded a goal. Otherwise, it would be absolutely picture perfect.
What do you guys make of this? Do you see this as sustainable, or is it just lower standard of opposition that you kind of expect to be?
Who are you talking to? Are you talking to me or are you talking to Dan? From me, I think this is sustainable. I think it's the start of a rebuild. I don't know if Arteta is the man to bring us to win a championship or a Champions League, but I think he's the man to bring us to the next stage. For Dan wants Arteta gone in a second.
Well, can I answer? Mesam, right? You know me, bro, right? Can I ask you to sit the hell down? Because you're
Stop
I'll
moving,
tell you
stop
what,
moving.
right?
You make me dizzy.
I am so dizzy right now. I am so dizzy right now. It's like I'm on the waltzers at Clacton Pier. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, honestly. There we go. I'm cool now. Listen.
Dan's literally going to vomit in the middle of the podcast.
And you know what? Trust the process. Dan knows me. I don't know who this guy is, but he's just joined.
Dan, you got it. Because you're pissed. This is our only chance. I said I didn't trust the process. Just say it. And then you can
Listen.
Now that you're maybe had a few drinks, you can speak your heart. What do you see in Arteta? Because I'm not going to pretend that I'm expert in recognizing who's the best football manager. What I can see in Arteta is an intelligent man who is extremely hardworking and is in love with his job. And in any walk of life, I think that's a recipe for success. What do you think of it?
Well, okay. So, Mesam. And you know I love you, bro, because you say it how it is, like me. And we're from the complete opposites. You can see a process working, and I'm cool with that. I don't see a process working, and the pure fact of that is, I love today's result. I absolutely love today's result. And you know what? I love the West Ham and the Southampton's fixture. But I feel personally, and this is just me, and nobody has to agree, and everyone can disagree if they want to, and I know you will, Mesam. When it comes to Stan Kroenke, and Fergus will as well, when it comes to Stan Kroenke and Josh Kroenke, and they want to put a young team together and a young coach, that is going to take time. I personally feel like we have. Jesus. Like we have.
You've not even been drinking, Mike.
I personally feel. Hang on, give me my time. I personally feel like we have taken a lot of time already to try to demand for the best. So my question mark is: are we going for the best possible outcome here, or are we starting all over again? And it seems like we're starting all over again. Now, if we're starting all over again, Mesa, I'm cool with you. Arteta might be a good coach in 5 years. He's not going to be a good coach right now. He's not going to win us a league. He's not going to come second, maybe even third. But he might take us a push to top 4 because he's shown enough coaching malabilities or managerities, if I say the word right, to take us forward.
What about his points?
Here we go.
Peter said Rome wasn't built in a day, Dan.
Okay, let me come on this point because I think this is really important, and this is really important. And Heath is absolutely bang on. Rome wasn't built in a day. How long have we been
Dan
waiting?
was pissed in a day, by the way, just to prove.
But you know, I see. Rome wasn't built in a day, but it's been 2 years now.
Let him answer.
Maysam, let me just answer this, and then you can come back to it. And I'm going to come back to you, Maysam. Rome was not built in a day. Have we not been waiting 16 years for this? So my answer to my question to everybody that says Rome wasn't built in a day, why are we starting again? I've seen
Rome wasn't built in 16 years either.
But I have also seen, and Mike, you'll believe me in this. I think you will, unless you say you don't believe this.
He's Jewish.
Cesc Fabregas.
So he won't. Us Catholics believe
what's
it's 6
that got to do with anything,
it's 6 days. For the Jews, it's different.
What's that?
You know?
Fuck's sake, Fergus. Jesus, you're lucky, Fergus. You're lucky, Fergus. That you get away with that shit. Right. So let me talk this.
10 years of podcasting without ever searching, and now he's going to get himself cancelled in one night.
Do you know what? Guns N' Roses are going to be cancelled tonight. No. Let me answer this question quite simply. We started again in 2008 or 7 actually, with William Gallas as our captain. And Cesc Fabregas and Van Persie, and wow, we got a young team. Actually, we didn't win much, did we? And actually, we were better than we are now. Then we go 10 years forwards, and we have Ramsey and Wilshere, and we didn't win anything. And now we go 10. And one second.
Arnie said Liverpool had to wait 30 years.
No, Liverpool had to wait 30 years by doing things the wrong way. Now, in the last 5, they got things the right way. I hope I've got things the right way, but I look at the situation of going Project Youth, and all I'm trying to say is this.
Somebody doesn't like you.
Who?
Dan 1.
Don 1 hates me. Oh, honestly, Don 1 cannot stand me. He cannot stand me. I belong in the mud, apparently.
That's Malden, though. It's not Colchester.
There's a lot of. I get a lot of hate. I get a lot of hate from this. Sorry, I pretty much feel a point. Mason, before you come in, we've tried this before with Fabregas and Van Persie. We tried it before with Ramsey and Wilshere. We're now trying it with Saka and Smith Rowe. What makes you believe that Arteta is the guy to take us forward? Please.
Honestly, I don't even know that Arteta is the man to take forward. I'm still confused on that one. But what the situation is at Arsenal, maybe put me mute on your end because I can hear myself back. It's a bit crazy.
So here's what I see, guys. And I think many Arsenal fans are quite uncomfortable, kind of agreeing to this reality that Arsene Wenger was the greatest coach that we had in our lifetime. I personally, I was never going to be Arsenal fan if it wasn't because of Wenger, because I remember I'm Iranian, so I was, I became an Arsenal fan when I was in Iran, and there was no TV coverage even back then. And everyone was like a Man United fan on the back of 1999. And I just became aware of Arsenal, that there's this guy who's bringing youth and slapping Manchester United and challenging their authority and playing beautiful football as well. So with that context said, I think Arsene Wenger was probably the best man at Arsenal and totally deserves a statue. But I think he actually got us in a position that in terms of I'm not talking about the building, about the stadium, about the overall kind of fan base, international exposure of the club, but purely in terms of the squad on the pitch and the competitiveness of the team, I think he left us in a lot worse condition than the time that he took over, because when he took over, we actually had an amazing back five. We had Dennis Bergkamp in the team and a very competitive squad.
Sam, you make some really, really good points. We're going to move on from where we're at there about like Arteta and so on. Mike, I want to talk to you about the goal we conceded and the penalty we conceded. Ben White conceded it. Massimo, I'll let you go and just remove you from here, then we can move on to the others. Really enjoyed you joining us, and thank you for joining us. If anybody else wants to join us, just click on the link. I'll put it back in the chat and go from there. Mike, what did you think of the penalty we conceded and Ben White's tackle? Like, we couldn't see it clear from where we were.
Nah.
So I'm really interested in seeing what you thought about it.
He's on mute.
Why don't you take your mic off mute? There we go. Unmute yourself.
Sorry about that. Moment of madness is completely unnecessary. He had him pretty well played and didn't even go down to the ground. So besides not getting the ball, besides getting the man, he didn't need to go in two-footed or whatever it was. I mean, he could have just literally stood up and forced him to turn back the other way. So not the shining moment for Ben White. The lowest moment in a game that had very few low moments. I suppose you could jump on him if that's your style. But Ben White's had a couple of games in a row. He's still showing some signs.
But
a little bit of the rash tackle. That's why it's so important.
Overall,
when the likes of Gabriel.
What did you think of Ben White's performance? If you call him Ben White out of a moment of, like a brain fart or whatever it was for the penalty, how did you think the rest of his game was?
Didn't really notice a tremendous amount from him, either positively or negatively. I mean, if every single person on the club today got a 6 or above, I'd say he got 5.5. He was just average, and in a game that was much tighter, that wasn't already after a few minutes or after a few goals, in front. That would have been a much more costly error. We were already winning 3-0 at that point. I think he owes Ramsdale an apology for costing a clean sheet. But look, when you're winning, when you're well in front. But when you take your naps in the middle of the game for 15 or 20 minutes, when you're up 3-0, it's not ideal. We saw it against Spurs. We saw it again today. But it's a lot better than taking your naps when we're up 1-0. And that's what we've been seeing.
I've been quite impressed with Ben White's performance over the last few games, and even they had ole, 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 Ben White, Ben White.
You totally killed that, mate. You totally killed that.
Listen, Potsy want to come back at you, and then we want to bring Heath in, and then we'll get Scuddy in afterwards as well.
Right,
I'm going to bail after Dan has use all the good mojo that we've had together in the last couple of days.
Oh, you Americans, you just gotta pick and choose when you want, you Americans, eh?
Mike, honestly, Mike, I wanted to ask you a serious question, because I honestly believe we have a partnership in Gabriel and Ben White, and I wanted to know your understanding, who you see as the colossus in that centre-back partnership, I suppose. Do you think that Ben White is the man? He's £50 million. He's more than Gabriel. And moving forward, do you think that he's the right guy? That's my question to you, Mike.
You can't say £50 million and moving forward in the same sense without realizing how much of the conflict that is. 72 million for Pepe, 50 million for him. This hat was free because I got it from my grandfather. It doesn't matter how many.
I was going to say, typical Jewish thing, you got a free hat.
The word that you just said. Ben White has things in his locker
that Gabriel doesn't. Gabriel is the rock. He's the colossus. Ben White is more of a playmaker. He's more of the David Luiz style. He's going to push the ball forward. And if he's prone to the occasional mistake, other than a direct allowing mistake like today where he gave the penalty up, Gabriel probably going to have his back more times than not. And so you don't want a partnership with two people who are exactly alike that play the exact same game. These two are very compatible. Their strengths and weaknesses offset each other well, which is why I'm excited and just wanting to keep these guys healthy in a partnership for the long run. I mean, Ben White has shown something to do that not many center backs in the league do. He's just very rough around the edges, especially defensively. So,
are you finished?
Well, I'm echoing because they have their sound.
We got more important people.
The last thing I want to say.
No, go on, let Mike.
Go on, last thing.
Mike.
Last thing.
Dan. Going forward is what matters. So if we want to look back, if we want to look at what we spent on Martinelli and all that stuff, that's all well and good. If we want to spend 16 years of rebuilding Rome, I get the frustration. It's been a hell of a 16 years that we've had to deal with. But we are where we are now. And the most important game and the most important month, the most important year is the one that comes up. And the difference between me and a lot of other people, and I'm not trying to preach or anything like that, but me,
yep.
I look at what I'm seeing in the last 6 months. I'm seeing personnel changes behind the scenes. I'm seeing things that aren't necessarily showing up on the pitch right away.
Can we have the short version, please, Mike? We got Heath and Scully in the background, and they're making noise.
No,
we can see what they're doing.
You're right.
Dan wants to answer. Yeah, go on.
Do you know what? I'll give you a 30-second short answer. Mike, you know I love you, man. And the way I see it is...
I thought you were talking about our partnership.
Yeah. Go on.
Oh, he's dropped the mic. He's dropped the mic. That is when you know. Drop the mic. Listen, Mike. Listen. I don't know what more I can say. I will get behind the process once Arsenal start taking care of themselves. And when Arsenal start taking care of themselves, I will start to get behind the process. And I personally believe that Mikel Arteta and a young team is a perfect storm for disaster. However, at the moment it's looking great because we've beaten West Ham, we've beaten Southampton, we've beaten Leeds. We might beat Wolves, we might beat Norwich. When we come back against Man City, it might not be too pretty. But you know what? If we lose to Man City and Liverpool and Chelsea, then it'll be frustrating. Of course it will. But if we actually get onto a process or a project, or whatever the hell anyone wants to call this damn thing, against the below sides, then I'll start to believe. And if I start to see an amazing style of football, like I've started, one second first, once I've started to see it against Southampton and West Ham, and do you know what? Today against Leeds,
listen, first time we've won 3 games in a row.
Yeah, and do you know what? Let's hope it continues, Fergus. Do you think I'm sitting there hoping that
my
Arsenal
only
lose?
Disappointment today is we conceded a goal. Listen, I want to bring Heath in. Mike, thanks very much, mate. Really appreciate
I love you, man.
Love you loads.
I love you, man.
Yeah.
Love lots.
Take it easy. Up the Arsenal and Guna Cancer. Yeah.
Can we just promote that a second, please?
Hang on. I'll bring you back. I'll bring you back in. Tell people about that, and then
can we just promote that, please? Because that is really important.
Go to Gunners. BeatCancer.com. If you want to see the most amazing piece of Arsenal memorabilia that maybe has ever existed, you can win it by donating as little as $25 to the Leeds Away Society. I don't have a picture of it. I can't go get it right now to show you, but it is the most incredible Arsenal memorabilia you could ever have. So please go to GoonersVCancer.com. Appreciate it, guys. And Dan, I love you because I know that you want to be proven wrong. And I can't wait for the day where you hopefully, for all of our sake, are proven wrong. And until that day, keep doing what you're doing, buddy.
We're gonna bring Heath in now. I know we're getting some echo. So while we're on here, we're going to put mute on for ourselves, and then we'll try and jump in, and it might get a bit disjointed, but we're bringing Heath. Welcome to Guns and Yellow Ribbons.
Les, I thought tonight pretty steady. I'm worried about Partey and Xhaka in the middle of the park. Really am. They look against the two decent midfield players. I think they'd struggle. They really would. I thought Xhaka was lucky with his tackle as well to be on the park. But the kids up front, Martinelli, Smith-Rowe, Xhaka, Laka is the missing link. That bloke brings those kids. He links up the front line to the midfield with those kids. He really does. I'm so pleased Aubameyang's nowhere near that first team. I think that's the big difference you'll see now moving forward as a team. I think the influence, again, like we've had before with other players in the past, him being there has been a bad influence, especially on the youngsters. The youngsters watching it as well, they don't need it. So I honestly think that's had a big shout on our performances as well. I'm glad to see.
You mentioned the Xhaka Partey partnership. Were you happy with the Xhaka partnership with Partey? Has Partey lived up to your expectations? And would you be pleased if, because we lost Aubameyang and the leadership group and everything else, if Xhaka ends up with the armband?
In January, Xhaka, he really could. Again, he's one of these players. I mean, for me, Fergus, when he took his shirt off, the man's got to go. I don't want him. He's another person we don't need near that first 11. We really, really don't. Yes, we probably need some guidance for the youngsters and that around them. Partey, I think he's still trying to find his feet. There was a couple of times there in the second half that he drove from the edge of the box with the ball into their half, but then stopped, looked around as if he didn't know what to do with it. I would give him another season. I would, because present climate with all these new people coming into the side, with the lockdown last year and so forth, that's got to be hard for people coming in from a different country.
Do you know what though, Heath, right? Listen, I've got to say, everything you're saying there is spot on, right? Everything you say there is spot on. And the reason I say it's spot on is because we need the leader of this Arsenal side to be someone that's going to be there, one, for the future, two, to understand the mentality of this side, and three, to actually lead us forward. And I don't think that Xhaka can do that, mate. And my question to you, Heath, is this: is Granit Xhaka and Lacazette the answer to our prayers moving forward?
If he was to leave tomorrow, I wouldn't be losing his sleep over it. I really wouldn't. Going forward to lead us, I'd like to see Ben White there. Gabriel, someone like that. But at the moment, I think we need to get this season out of the way, see where we are, take note of what we've done this season, and then kick on. Hopefully, kick on. I'd like to see a good striker come in, a decent, hungry young striker that can hit the back of the net off his arse, his elbow, or anything. To do that, we need that. We need somebody that puts the fear of God into the defence, because the youngsters, we can't ask too much of these youngsters, because sooner or later we're going to start getting problems. I think already with Emil Smith-Rowe, we're seeing that with him not starting. Has he got an injury? Is Arteta trying to look after him? You know, there's things like that. It's like Xhaka. These boys are going to be targeted as well. I think he saved Martinelli. We're reaping the rewards with Martinelli because he saved him from when he came back from the Olympics. Because the boy was chomping at the bit, wanted to get on there, wasn't happy sitting on the bench. But now he's starting. We're starting to reap the rewards. And
that's really interesting because Dan beside me, he was very much like play Martinelli and everything else. And I said that he was nursing an injury and it would take some time. Heath, thanks very much for joining us, mate. We're going to bring
much love, Heath.
We're going to bring Scunny back in.
Spot on, Heath.
But thank you very much, mate. Up the Arsenal. Fuck the Spurs. Hang on. Go on, try again. Right. Yeah, good lad.
Cheers,
good
lad,
mate.
Top man, mate. Top man.
Up the arse.
Top man.
Up the arse. So we're going to bring in Scunny. Scunny, thank you very much for your sat-nav guidance that you gave us earlier today. As we were, where we are right now, we're in the Ibis budget in the centre of Leeds, but it's literally an island in the middle of roads. And there's no parking, there's no nowhere. And literally within seconds of us arriving here, Scunny rings up and goes, "Hey up, lads, you got lost in Leeds? Everyone gets fucking lost in Leeds." And I'm going, "Yeah, hang on, shut up." He turned the sat-nav down and we went 6 loops.
Do you know what it was? Scunny? I was trying to understand you, right? And Fergus is like, "Stop turning the sat-nav down." I'm like, "Listen,
I'm losing my shit,
you got the radio on, mate. I can't hear what Scunny's saying." Scunny is talking to me about some very important information. And Fergus is like, "Turn that radio down." And I'm like, "Oh, listen, I don't know what you're saying." So, Scunny, do you know what, Scunny, right? How the hell have you been, man? I haven't spoke to you for time.
Oh, shit. Sorry, I'm holding my phone, so my camera's a bit dodgy. Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. All's well and good. And it wasn't up. I never said that. I said, "How are you doing? How are you getting on the Leeds?" Because I know that ring road's a pain in the ass.
We've been round the ring road. We've been in some good bars. When some bar with like proper rock music,
which means rock guitar.
Music. Yeah. We've been in a few bars. It's been quite good. And we're sitting here right now. We got the Mac app. We decided, you know what, bloody hell, let's see who wants to join in and watch us. And that's one person, so that must be you.
Always the best one. I just come to stop you two lovebirds sharing a hotel room.
Oh, don't, Scunny, don't.
Oh, mate.
Tell you, Scunny, right? This guy, honestly, Scunny, right? I'll tell you this now. This geezer, right? I've sorted you both out with a hotel room. I thought, oh no. He says to me, "Right, you both got a room for the night, £100. No, mate, we haven't.
No, I rocked up and said, "I want to pay for my room." He said, "No, you're with him." I said, "No, we're good friends." I said, "But I know it's 2021, but we're just good friends."
Ferguson and his toy boy Dan.
Oh, yeah, you know. He's not my sort. I'm not into the gingers that much, you know what I mean? Anyway, what do you think of the game?
I overall enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first half. We broke a record, and for the good this time for a change. 11 shots on target in the first half. It's more than anyone else has ever done before. Can't argue with that.
Scunny, can I ask you one question, bro? Because do you know what, right? Me and you sat there 3 years ago, and we was like, if Arteta gets a job, I'm a bit concerned, right? And we must, and I know you did, bro, sat the same thing with Ramsdale. But he has honestly been so good with the crowd. Like, honestly, I know you are like me in terms of players with the crowd. So talk to me precisely. Talk to me about Aaron Ramsdale, man.
Well, yeah. Like I just said there, I wasn't overly keen on the signing. I'll gladly admit that I've done it before. He's come in and he's been a lot better than what Leno ever was. It was strange because I really liked Leno. I thought he was a good keeper. He had his issues, but I thought he was a good keeper. Ramsdale's come in and just knocked him out. He's never going to come back in this squad. Leno. So yeah, and with Ramsdale with the crowd as well, you can tell he loves it. He loves the crowd. He loves. You can see it in him that he loves the crowd getting behind him, and it's making him play better. And that's what we want, and that's what we need from a keeper.
And do you feel, Scunny, that like this transfer window has not been as bad? Let me take it from my perspective, right? I honestly believe this transfer window has been okay. Like the summer window has been okay. Like we've got Tomiyasu, we've got Ramsdale, we've got Tavares, we've got Lokonga, we've got Ben White, we've got Odegaard. Now Odegaard may be underwhelming, but actually he's been okay the last few games.
He got wankered.
So
I think you're being harsh to Odegaard there.
And do you know what, Scunny? I might be. Maybe I am. I really am, because
Fergus is the same with Odegaard.
No, I'm not as bad, but
you are.
No, you are as bad. I'm not bad with Odegaard.
No, you are.
I think Odegaard was a good buy. He's a good investment. I don't think he's everything that like Truls and others think of Odegaard. I can see some qualities, but I can see with him when I watch him on the pitch, when it's not going his way, his frustrations get the better of him, and he just drops out of the game.
Can I ask you a question, Scunny?
So he's in the game for 30, 40 minutes. He gets pissed off because he's probably better than much of the players that we've got, and he checks out. And for a master player would be, guys, come with me, but he checks out. But that's his age.
Scunny.
Sorry, hang on, Dan.
No, go on, Scunny.
You've got to think about it. It's his age. Yeah, his age is working against him on that one. His immaturity. But as he's had more games, the better he has got, and you can see him bringing up the rest of the team. You know, look at the league play he has with Saka, now with Martinelli. We didn't have much with Aubameyang, but he has a really good link play with Lacazette at the minute. So it's only working to our advantage. And the better he is, and the better he's getting, it's the better for us.
So Scunny, let me ask you this, right? Scunny, let me ask you this. And you know you're my bro, man. I love you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Fergus, shut up, man. So, the first Arsenal 11, right? It's cleared the back five, whatever, yeah? And you got Xhaka and Partey, which is clearly going to be the game. What do you do in terms of our strongest 11 after Xhaka and Partey? Who is the front four, so to speak, for you?
The front four. I won't mix much in what we've seen tonight with Martinelli, Saka, and Odegaard, especially in front of the Xhaka and Partey. I wouldn't have Xhaka in the team if I'm being honest.
Okay. Who would you have instead?
I'd have Lukaku. I really wouldn't have Xhaka in the squad, but if unfortunately, like most of the managers that we've had, including Emery and Wenger, they all love Xhaka. So I don't know what that is. He must be doing something what we're not seeing. But that's the thing. He had a good game today, I thought, barring that tackle, which was ridiculous. He shouldn't have even done that. His head got the better of him, and he could have got a red card. He was very, very lucky. But to go back to the original question, Martinelli has to start. He's scoring goals. He has to start. You've got Saka. ESR can go in with Saka if Saka's not playing too well. Same with Martinelli. But obviously Aubameyang ain't coming back. Lacazette and Odegaard, they'll be my next. I'm getting my words mixed up. They'll be my front lot.
So you're going to go with Saka on the right, Martinelli on the left, Ødegaard number 10, and Lacazette up top, and Smith Rowe on the bench.
Well, yeah. In that sort of sense, yeah. But you could mix between the three. Well, it makes between four of them, to be fair, which is a good option to have.
And you know what, Scunny, what you've just said there is absolutely spot on. It is a good option to have. This is good competition. This is what this should be like in this Arsenal side. It shouldn't be, do you know what, this is the 11 and no one's getting near it. It should be, this is the 25, who wants to get in it? And I feel like, although we're miles away from that, I feel like we've got about 14 players here. Maybe 13, 14 players who are...
You know what you said,
go on.
I picked up on what you said, this is the 25. We don't have a 25 though. We have got a 14, 15, 16.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And we talked about who's going to be... Look, we've disconnected the top three. The top three are where they are. And we're top four now.
Off over Christmas.
And probably right through January, because I don't think there's going to be much more football happening between now and probably the first week of January. But we'll touch on that briefly. But I think the squad we've got, when you look at the squads that Tottenham have got, West Ham have got, we're as thin on the ground. We've got probably 14 players, 15 players to come in. And
Scunny, sorry mate, one last question before you go. Give me a name, top four, give me a name, go for it. Give me a team, sorry. Who's getting top four this season? Yeah, who's getting top four? We know it's going to be Chelsea, Liverpool or City in top three. Who's getting fourth, mate? Go for it.
At this moment in time, I couldn't even give you a team. Having with the top six, probably top eight being so close, it could be anyone. I couldn't
give me a name. Give me a name for fourth place. Give me a name for fourth place.
Arsenal.
I want Arsenal to get that top four, yeah. But if we don't invest,
sorry, I'm correct.
In January,
the Arsenal.
If we don't invest in January, where we're going to get these players that we need, in the sense of, I'm trying to think of the name now. Sorry, it's late. The players that we need as backups and stuff. Players that we need in them sort of areas. We won't get fourth. We need a new striker with Aubameyang being the way he is. Lacazette will be going in the summer, so we need someone to come in for him at some point. We do need backups in areas, and like you said, we're very thin on the ground, and we need to try and remedy that to get that fourth spot.
I personally myself, United are the only one with a squad thick enough to get to fourth. But I think United don't have a united team. I think Arsenal are a better team. I think even Tottenham, as threadbare as they are a better team. I'm quite confident. I've said to you all night. I'm quite confident.
Yeah.
We'll get four.
It is too tight. There's a few points in it where West Ham are 4 points off us now. They're in fifth with a game in hand.
We've got the points on the board.
It is quite.
They cannot take those points off us. We've got the points on the fucking board.
I know what you're saying. It is. But the teams behind us have got games in hand. Some of them even got 2 or 3. It's a case of now is what's going to happen in them games in hand and everything else. But we need to have a decent January to stay forward.
If you look at Spurs' games in hand, they're all mostly away against Burnley, Brighton, and I can't remember who the third team is. It's awful. Scotty, I'll tell you what, we're gonna let you go.
Who are you on about there?
Some small team in Middlesex.
Right.
You won't know them.
I never heard of them.
Yeah.
You don't need to know them.
We're going to let you go, and we thank you very much. We're going to bring Lawrence in. Lawrence,
enjoy the rest of your night, fellas.
Thank you, man.
Top boy, man. Love you, man.
We're loving up north. It's so bloody cheap.
That's why I stayed here. Catch you later, fellas. Have a good one.
See you later, mate.
Take care, man.
See you later, mate. Lawrence, how are you, mate? How are you doing? You're in, you're the other side of the world. You're in LA, aren't you? Turn your microphone on, mate. We can't hear you.
Oh, you're on mute, Lawrence.
On mute. Oh, you can't. So Lawrence is gone. He'll jump back in shortly in a minute. Listen, there was another thing that came up that we didn't notice and we didn't talk about. Because we didn't know about it. There was apparently Rob Holding went to the fourth official, and there was a racial allegation. You can't really comment on it that much. If somebody has been out of order, like we've met so many people today of all races, creeds, religions, football teams, and everything else, and we've gone on famously with them. For Christ's sake, if you're at football, just behave yourself and just be normal. If that's what you want to do.
And I'm quite passionate about this, Fergus, because I just feel no matter who you are, what you believe in, and who you are representing, please just get on with life as you believe you should be, because that's as simple as it is. There's a lot of people that say to me, oh, you shouldn't say that, you shouldn't say this, you should say this, you shouldn't say that. And I believe personally, you know what you should say or what you should not say. Let's be honest, we're in 2022 nearly. Please do not say anything that is going to be offensive to anybody.
But it is
it's simple, isn't it? I mean, I don't get it.
In the UK at the moment, we've got adverts for all sorts of things. We've got a three-legged dog for pet food. So that's where we are, okay? You cannot...
Right, let me come in now. We have had to go over the top for pet food for a three-legged dog. Why? Why is that? And do you know what I mean?
And that's what people get frustrated. I agree with being polite and be respectful for people from different things. But when it goes to the other extreme, you can understand why people get a little bit wound up and people end up saying things they shouldn't. But listen, on a more jovial note, we done a pub crawl. You'd never know. Honestly, the guy is sober as a judge.
I've had orange juice all night.
Yeah. We've had a few scotches, we've had a few beers, Amstels, Moretti's, and we're going to carry on for a little while. The guys over there are sitting there having a drink, and we're going to join them in a minute. But before we go, favourite Arsenal song and why?
Favourite Arsenal song and why?
Boys, favourite Arsenal song. Come on.
Favourite Arsenal song and why?
You're going to come over. Go on.
Do you know what? I'm going to keep this really...
Old or new?
Oh my word. Fergus, I'm going to keep this really current, and the reason I'm going to keep it current is because I think it's so important at the moment. Saka and Emil Smith Rowe.
Yeah, but that's so today.
I like it.
I like it. Oh, here we go.
Whoa. Saka and Emil Smith Rowe.
1, 2, 3, 4. Rob, what is your favourite Arsenal song?
Present or all time?
No, your favourite Arsenal song. When you're sitting there brushing your teeth, having a crap, washing your hair, whatever it is, and you sit there. Like this morning, I was leaving. As I was walking out the door, I started going to the missus. I gone, and Leicester. And she went, what? I went, we'll follow the... I went, you got Leeds. What's Leicester got to do with it? I said, you wouldn't understand. So what's your favourite song?
It's player related.
Yeah?
An old player is Dennis Bergkamp. We're walking in a Bergkamp wonderland.
Walking in a Bergkamp wonderland. There's only one Dennis Bergkamp. One Dennis Bergkamp. walking along, singing a song, walking along the wonderland. Nick?
Merce.
I am. Do you know what? I was just saying this over there. I'm going with 49.
49, undefeated. 49, I say. 49, undefeated. Playing football the Arsenal way.
Can I just say, one of the best I ever heard, right?
Yeah, we should.
One of the best I've heard. It was 1999, was it? And the Everton fans started singing, Keown has got a monkey's head, Keown has got a monkey's head. And do you know what the Arsenal fans sung? 1 second. Do you know what the Arsenal fans sung? Keown has got a championship. Keown has got a championship. Keown has got a championship. And I loved it. And I thought it was brilliant.
So if I was asking you your favourite song, what would you say your favourite song is then?
Yeah, it wouldn't be Saccharin Smith Rowe. It's just because it's just current.
That's current, yeah.
It has to be. The wanky Tottenham Hotspur went to Rome to see the Pope. The wanky Tottenham Hotspur went to Rome to see the Pope. The wanky Tottenham Hotspur went to Rome to see the Pope. And this is what he said. It's that team we call the Arsenal. It's that team we all adore. We're the boys in red and white. And we're fucking dynamite.
And whoever.
And Antonio Conte's mother is
Myself, my one would be over and over and over again.
My Jesus and Paddy, I sang it so well. I think I'll sing up and I'll sing it again.
So Paddy got up
and he sang it again. Over and over again.
Me Jesus and Paddy,
I sang it so well. I think I'll get up and I'll sing it again. Over and over again.
There's always time for a Rocky Newcastle.
Oh, Rocky Newcastle. Oh, Rocky. Lawrence, we're literally about to finish, but because you jumped back on again, we thought we'd bring you in. What were your thoughts on today's game? Just give us a rundown, and at the end of your rundown, tell me what your favourite Arsenal song is.
Okay, good win. Still question marks about the process. Yeah, I mean, we could have been like 5-6-0 up at half time. We looked sluggish in the second half until they got the penalty. At that point, I had visions of another Newcastle collapse, but we got the killer goal thanks to Smith Rowe. But
what collapse? What collapse, Lou?
I don't know. I mean, when I see us, let the other team back into the game, and when they pulled it back to 3-1. Something told me that
3-1, Lawrence. 3-1, not 1-1. 3-1.
Yeah, I know.
It's 85 minutes as well, by the way.
Yeah, but a game's 90 minutes, and you never know if they've got another goal up quickly after that. Who knows how
Leeds with like most of their youth squad as players are out with 5 minutes to go, and they're at 3-1. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand your worry.
Yeah. I'm still not sold on the process. I mean, this manager should have gone last season. He should never have kept the job. Now he's got to prove himself. Because this team is his team now. It's not Arsene Wenger's team. Unai Emery's team, and if we don't take the Champions League at the end of it,
Lawrence, don't you think that's a good point in the sense? Yes, I agree. This is an Arteta team, and it's not an Emery team, it's not a Wenger team, and Arteta's got to prove his point. He is proving his point right now, and he is generating results. Potsy is not convinced. You know, he's not an Arteta fan. I'm a little bit more on the Arteta side. I do question some of the stuff he does, but to be as negative as you are being right now, Jesus, mate, behave.
I'm sorry. Being an Arsenal fan, I've had so many letdowns over the last 20 years or so, you know. It's the best way, you know. I've seen this type of thing happen before with us in the past, and you know he's got to prove himself at the end of this season. If we do not get a Champions League spot at the end of this season, then I'm sorry, he's got to go, and someone else has got to come in.
Right. So if we get a Champions League spot, do you think? Yeah. Do you think this team is good enough for Champions League football? I don't.
We need another striker. I think we need another midfielder as well. I'm not saying we're going to win the Champions League next season. I'm just saying I want us back in the Champions League because I don't like playing European football on Thursday nights.
Well, we're not accustomed to it. We've done it for a little while, and then we had a protest in, and we boycotted Europe for a little while. That's my excuse anyway. But listen, if we get into Champions League, we're good enough for Champions League. I don't think this squad, this team is good enough. But the manager that you're calling out has got us there, and that will be over 3 years. He's built and got us there. So if you're calling him out now that he's not good enough, he's amateur, he's immature and everything else, I've spoken to this man here, and he has some common sense about at least what he says. What you're talking about is absolutely off you go.
Well, as I said, we're top 4 now, but it's where you are in May that counts. If we're still there in May,
whatever planet you're going to be on in May, good luck to you.
Well, like I said, it's where you end up in May that counts. You know, we're top 4 now. Let's enjoy it. But you've got to take into account a lot of other teams haven't played the last week or so. So, we're a game ahead of everyone else.
We're We're 2 or 3 games ahead of many others, but Spurs might come along and say, "Oh, we got 3 games in hand," but they've got to play Brighton away. We struggled, and we got a draw. They've got to play Burnley away. We battled, which we have not done for a long time. And we battled a 1-0, and I can't remember who the third one away is to, but we have, we've got the points on the board, and that's all that matters. Everything in hand does not count as anything. That's like, that girl looked at me, she thought it was great. I could have, but I didn't. You haven't. You know what I mean?
Well, let me throw the back at you. If we fail to get into the Champions League this season, are you still going to back him next season?
Totally. Me personally, I don't know about Dan beside me. Me personally, yes, because I expected us to get 5th or 6th this season. If we end up in 4th, I think we'll overachieve and we'll crash and burn in the Champions League because our squad is not good enough to go through the Champions League, and we'll drop into the Europa League. But I will back him. Anything above 6, I'll back him. Dan, your thoughts?
All right, listen, Lawrence, my thoughts.
Then we're going to finish.
You know my thoughts, mate. If he doesn't get in the top 4, we need a new manager, mate. So
I agree with you.
Yeah, and I think personally, top 4 is the minimum we should expect this season. For the one reason is this: we've had 150 million spent on this squad. We've got no Europe at all. And when people say top 6 is a good finish, that means you're accepting finishing below Spurs and Manchester United.
Spurs are going 7th or 8th.
Or West Ham. For me, no.
West Ham are a better team than us at the moment.
Are they a better squad than us?
They're a thinner squad.
Did we just beat them 2-0?
Yeah, but overall, I think West Ham are probably just pipping us to the post. It's very tight between us and West Ham.
Okay, and I agree with that, but I think we're better than them on paper. And we proved that already.
Listen, you've got to find out if they serve whiskey behind this bar.
I do need to.
Because we need to get malt whiskies. And because these Moretti's are running out. Thank you, Lawrence, for joining us. Really appreciate you for joining us. I hope you join Guns and Yellow Ribbons in the future and follow us and watch us. Listen, we're not. Dan knows. Dan's on a few podcasts and he does his various bits and pieces. But Guns and Yellow Ribbons has always been like an Arsenal by fans, for fans podcast. And this has just been literally what we do. We sit and get pissed.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we've all got different opinions. You know, I respect your opinion. You know, we're not all going to agree on this main point. You know, and I appreciate that. You know, but what you say, fair enough. But my opinion is, I don't believe Arteta is going to take us forward.
I get that, but it's all about respect, and we respect each other. So there we go.
Yeah.
Lawrence, have a lovely Christmas. Happy New Year to you all, your family, and everything else. Be healthy.
You too, Dan.
Everything else. All right. Take it easy, mate. Cheers. See you later.
Bye.
Right. So you have been watching an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. We're absolutely polluted drunk. He's worse than me. How I've managed to do this, I really don't know. I've done quite well, haven't I?
Done very well, mate.
Yeah. But thank you very much for joining us. We're going to get shit-faced, and might do something in the morning. We might do. We might do the day after, and see what you think. But for now, thanks very much. You have been watching an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Up the Arsenal, fuck the Spurs.
You've been listening to Guns and Yellow Ribbons, an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans.
Follow.
Follow us on Facebook at Guns and Yellow Ribbons and Twitter at Guns and Ribbons. And remember to rate and review us too.
Follow the Arsenal everywhere you go. Follow the Arsenal everywhere we go. Everywhere we go.